Addison, welcome to the show. We are such big fans of yours. In fact, we made a little TikTok to Diet Pepsi when we played it on our show. You commented on it and it was maybe one of the best days in our lives, careers. So it's great to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be talking to you guys. I'm a big fan.
Oh God! Look, we're even bigger fans, if that's even possible. But I have loved seeing all of this new music also make a life for its own on platforms like TikTok. What's it been like?
Crazy. It's very full circle, and I mean, it's so inspiring. I think it also just shows you how music can really take on a life of its own and inspire different things out of people. It's really beautiful. I think TikTok has always been such a hub for music, and to see my song be a part of, you know, a rotation that people are interested in making videos to is very flattering.
I mean, speaking about, you know, taking on a life of its own, the Arcamarine of it all, the Arca remix of Aquamarine, you kind of manifested this.
I know.
What went through? I mean, what did the rounds was this video of you talking about your favorite artists. You mentioned Arca, you mentioned Unknown Mortal Orchestra, Cher, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Did you feel like that? Could you remember that moment of saying that when the Arca remix came about?
I mean, that is the most full circle moment too, because I really said it out loud, which was a crazy thing. But I mean, Arca is so incredibly talented and one of the most beautiful artists that I have the luxury of knowing and listening to. The Arcamarine remix is one of my favorite songs, personally. I feel like it's just so beautiful and also gives Aquamarine this like different energy that is very present in the original song, but kind of gets brought out and brought into a new light on the Arca track. And so yeah, it's a very full circle and very amazing. Also, Unknown Mortal Orchestra like followed me on Instagram and I was like, wow, this is crazy. It was like another full circle moment. Hopefully lots more of those.
Are you listening to anyone right now that you'd love to work with?
Ooh. You know, I've been listening to a lot of Carly Simon. There's this album called Boys in the Trees. That album is so amazing. This is the cover. Honestly, what's so funny about this album is that the cover was what drew me to listen to the album, because I hadn't heard any songs on this album before, but I love her. And it is an amazing album. If you guys are ever bored, you have to listen to it or are interested in listening to new music. Music is, sorry, I'm totally going on a
Go off.
different...
Floor is yours,
but
babe.
I think, well, for me personally, music is so active. I think it's like its own thing. You know, when I listen to music, it's like, all right, I'm going to listen to music. And I think that's kind of how it used to be. When people would get records and CDs, you were like, all right, time to listen to this album. And this is my time to enjoy this album. So that there's nothing else going on while I'm listening to it. And so I think that is one of those albums where I sat and listened to the whole thing. And I think that's such a beautiful and rare experience these days, but something that's super special.
Yeah, I think something that kind of aligns with that way you view music and how active it is your approach to music videos. I mean, why are music videos important to you? Because both Aquamarine and Diet Pepsi are gorgeous, gorgeous videos.
Thank you so much. I love both of those videos so much. And I think I grew up being obsessed with music videos, obviously on MTV, you know, watching music videos and seeing how much deeper you could feel or maybe understand a song from a totally different perspective, or from the same perspective that you were kind of imagining in your head come to life. And there's something so beautiful about that to me. And I always have valued that. I think, you know, there's something really beautiful about someone hearing a song and interpreting their own vision to it, but also, you know, hearing a song and seeing the artist's interpretation of how that felt for them or what that maybe triggers for them. And so it's a really big priority to me. Honestly, if it weren't an option, I don't even know if I could do music, because I just think it's so important. I love visuals. I love seeing the translation of all the senses. I need all the senses active.
I would love to talk about this kind of conversation that's been happening online and your, I guess, attitude towards it is this idea of your like rebrand. Like people came to know you in 2020 and they see you now, they see those as two very different people. It's been like such an evolution. Is it frustrating when people credit that to like some sort of team or, people are like the publicist is working overtime? Do you feel like, no, that's just me. Like that's what I'm doing.
Honestly, luckily I love my team and publicist, but
and the team is top tier, may I say.
I do have an incredible group of people surrounding me, thank God. But, I think it's so funny. I think I'm still the same as I've always been. I really don't think I've changed that much, but maybe I've kept things more sacred to myself. And I used to share a lot of myself very actively. So I think it makes sense why people would feel, like I've changed. But I think art for me has become such an outlet and such a language of my own in a way, it's almost just a different way of communicating to me. And so I think I've really valued how loud art can be and on its own and stand and really hold a lot. And also leave people room to interpret and understand things as they want to. But I do think it's very flattering. I think it's very nice. I wish that was a thing because I would have done that years ago.
Yeah.
I would have done that forever ago if I knew that was a thing. But I think it's a compliment. It's nice.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't call it a quote unquote rebrand for Addison Rae, but more of a natural progression, maybe.
Right.
With
it's growth. I grew up. I'm
it's
not
growth.
19 anymore.
And with these two new songs, Diet Pepsi and Aquamarine, and of course Arcamarine, the remix, I want to talk about how Aquamarine sort of had this life on TikTok before Diet Pepsi was even released. Did you feel maybe pressure, or did you want to release Aquamarine before Diet Pepsi, or did you say no, Diet Pepsi needs to be the first one that I put out?
That's so funny. No one has asked me about that, but I knew even before I had posted the snippet to Aquamarine that Diet Pepsi was going to come first. I kind of, there's an interesting thing in, I think, music, and there's a lot of risk that goes into just dropping a song without seeing how people feel about it first. But with Diet Pepsi, I think there was such a strong feeling that I had, and I knew I didn't want to share it until it was out in the world, exactly, packaged and presented the way that I thought it deserved to be, which I think was so essential with the music video and kind of the entire thing, rolling out the way it did. But yeah, I knew I didn't want Aquamarine to come first, but I did know that it was it felt right. It felt right to have that be the first taste of what was to come.
And look, Addison, we don't have a whole lot more time left with you, unfortunately. I mean, I feel like we could just chat for hours about this new music, but I'm sure that there is more on the way. Can you give us a little sneak peek maybe into who you're working with or what we can expect from it?
I think there's a lot to come that's going to be fun and surprising, but also just from my heart. Very much from my heart. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys think about it.
Well, we're excited to hear what's to come next for Addison Rae. Addison, thank you so much for spending the time with us here on Drive.
Thanks so much. Hopefully I'll be able to come to Australia and
Please.
Please.
I'm planning on it.
Even just for a little trip, babe.
Yeah.
You don't need to work down here.
God deserves a holiday.
I want to go to the beach. I want to go to Byron Bay.
Oh, you're such a Byron girly.
You're both Libras.
We're both Libras. Yeah. You're the 6th of October. I'm the 5th of October.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's crazy. Well, happy belated.
We'll make an itinerary.
And likewise, babe.
We'll whip it up, but we'll get you out of here. Thank you so much.